Bowser's fucking Fury is real good.
Yes.
God damn, like, so we've all played it?
Yeah.
I've finished, like, I've seen the credits of it.
Yeah.
Of that bit, and I'm a big chunk of the way through 3D World. Loved 3D World on the Wii U.
One of the best Marios still.
I think I maybe like it more than Odyssey.
I think I maybe do too.
I think I've been talking to people about this during the week, and I think, like, some people just prefer the exploration.
Yeah.
I like the short, sharp. I like variety. I like lots of different levels. They still have a bit of exploration in them if you want to go back and get all the green stars. But
it's just distilled. It's like everything is there for just to be like, yep, this is good, move on. It's like real bite-sized vanilla, but in the best way possible Mario, where it's just it's going and it's a good 90-minute action movie.
It's like a vanilla slice. You're on the right track.
Yeah.
It's not huge, but it's fucking sweet.
And it's world famous.
Yes.
This bakery's vanilla slice is world famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a really...
I've heard of the Sandringham Bakery's vanilla slice. Everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's
and you
a
know
really...
what? I tasted it and it was really good.
Yeah, it was really fucking good.
Yeah, you got the vanilla, you got the slice.
Oh, yes.
Give me another.
Bit of icing.
I'll tell you when I'm
in
done.
There. Yeah.
It's just a really pure video game.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like what you could give someone and just go, if they've never heard of a video game, like, oh, what do you think this is?
Totally.
And, like, they'd put this together.
100%.
Yeah. I do think that... I remember... Because I remember when it first got announced on the Wii U, it's always been a bit of a black sheep in that I think people were really wanting a third Galaxy game.
Right.
And then I think a lot of people thought this was like a bit of a step back.
Because it was
a sort of sequel to 3D Land, which I had loved on the 3DS, so I was down for just more of this. But I also think they kind of marketed it in a weird way and continue to do so with this version, where they really lean into the 4-player element of it.
Yeah.
And they make it... I mean, I was interested in it when it was first coming out, but I really did feel like it was... Oh, is this kind of like a Mario Party kind of version of 3D Land? That's a bit of a shame.
And they had the new Super Mario Brothers games that, like, the one on the Wii had the 4-player, which was just, like, kind of a dumb muck around that, like... The levels weren't built for it. You were just jumping on each other's heads and pissing each other off. And it was like cool as an extra thing. But
it's a cool option to have.
Yeah, and they were playing into the Wii's success of like the family console, right?
Yes.
Like everyone can gather around.
Yeah.
You're right. It was not a good function, but it was a nice marketing tool.
Right.
Yeah, but the way they sell it is they make it look like it's a 4-player game instead of what it is, which is like a great single-player platformer that has this optional thing for a bit of a muck around if you want. So, I mean, it is... Seeing that kind of makes me think, like, I'm sure some people probably just, like, write this off thinking that it's something that it really isn't.
No,
even like the way when you go into the level and it's got the, like, people can jump in and join in at any time, really makes it look...
But it's a great, pure Mario game. It is just, like, distilled... Great video game, like teaches you wordlessly how to do something and then challenges you on that thing to the maximum extent that it is fun, and then stops thinking about it ever again.
Yeah, it's
like it goes through its thing and gets it out of the way and moves on. It's just like perfectly paced. Like
it's rare to think this about a video game, but it really seems like it would have been fun to work on. Like just the amount of levels and the variety and the creativity. It really seems like it would have been an environment where there's a big master folder or whiteboard or whatever where you can just throw anything in, and if you've got an idea for a mechanic and a way to use it 4 to 5 times really well in a row that all links up, then great, it's going into the mix. Like, so if you can dream something up and justify using it and pulling it off interestingly, then it's probably going to end up in the game.
Pretty sizable. Obviously it was on the Wii U fucking 8 years ago or something now. But if you didn't play it there, it's amazing. And
let me jump in with my review and my review of Bowser's Fury, because I want to get that out of the way so you guys can be very positive about Bowser's Fury.
Jump in? Did you say jump in? Listen here, I don't know if you know what happened.
Okay. All I know is that 3D World can be played with 3 players, but I'm going solo for now.
Okay.
Good stuff.
So I reckon the way that I've came to this game is the best possible way to experience 3D World, because it looks great on the Switch. And it's a reasonable price with this extra thing tacked on as well. I'd heard for years that it was a really good single-player Mario game, and you pointed out, like, it was probably marketed incorrectly. So
Right.
I've come in knowing what it is and knowing how good it is.
Yep.
And it's probably the best single-player Mario game I've played since, for me, probably Super Mario 3. Like, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you said, the density of good shit is high. That's why these kind of platformer games are so good, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's pure video games condensed into these tight little, packages.
And it is
And-
the sequel to Super Mario Brothers 3. Because it is
Right.
Super Mario Brothers 3 D-World.
Oh.
There's a colon in there, and you're in the D-World,
Yeah.
which again
Yes.
is the other club I like to go to.
Yes.
Well, as someone who did play the Wii U, but again, like, for a company that constantly does the bare minimum with its ports and re-releases, they actually went back into this and they've boosted the speed of the characters to make it feel a bit more. I don't know, maybe they were playtesting it and they just felt like by modern standards or beyond.
Honestly,
Odyssey,
by my standards, because like Super Mario 3, it's super fast. It's
Yeah.
a classic 2D platformer. The rapid nature of like, I was speedrunning that game before I knew what speedrunning was. That's how fun it was to do that. And I found Odyssey really slow paced. I'd never played the Galaxy games. I only played the first one when it came out as the part of the All Stars thing.
Right.
So like, I was coming, and I didn't own a SNES, so like, I really only played Super Mario Bros. 3 and Odyssey as like current games.
Sure.
And I found it kind of slow and plodding, and didn't love the sort of opener natures of the levels. Yeah, this game is totally for me, and I think that's why I'm not enjoying Bowser's Fury as much as maybe you guys.
Right.
Because it is being compared to my first experience of
Sure.
possibly the second best platformer I've ever played.
Yep,
It
that
sounds
makes
like
sense.
you're
Yeah.
less into the exploration aspect of it.
Yeah.
Which is what I really like about it, is that, like I was saying, some people, they prefer the linear levels. I think that's where my tastes kind of lie, but I still do really like the exploration. And this kind of finds like a balance in between the two of them. Where it's like, I think when they said, it's going to have an extra thing on Mario 3D World, and it took them ages to kind of elaborate and say what that was going to be. And, obviously the fair assumption was like, more levels.
One more world.
It'll be another
Right.
world with some more levels in. And it kind of essentially is that, but it's these little mini levels that all take place in the same kind of open world. So it is kind of a mix between the setup of 3D World, and it's kind of a mix of the setup of Odyssey.
Yeah.
And it's also something completely new and fresh.
I think it totally elevates both of them. It is the things I like about 3D World and the things I liked about Odyssey
Right.
jammed together with like basically the same controls as 3D World. I think almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's the
And
same
then you've
engine,
got
right? You can move the
yeah,
camera is the big
spinny
difference.
camera.
Yeah.
And it has the bits about each of them that were great, where like you're stumbling upon things
Yep.
in a Breath of the Wildy Super Mario Odyssey way. Not quite as open, like it's a small kind of map for that type of open world.
Yeah.
But then everything that you are finding is perfectly curated, is a new, fresh idea, is this great little thing that is different to everything else you've seen up to that point.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I didn't
Without
expect
the
it to be
stuff
as
of
good.
Odyssey that I think most people would agree, there was an element of busy work in there eventually, where it was like, for every great, curated, brilliantly placed, challenging little moon that you'd find,
Right.
there were hundreds that were like, there's one over there.
Yeah.
Pound
Sure,
the ground
sure.
here and you'll find one. Like, all that stuff stripped out.
Hey,
and it's
welcome
like,
to Moon Shop. Do you want a moon? They're free today.
that's
all
right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So these little kind of levels that are all on little islands, little lighthousey things. The first time you go through them, essentially, you're just doing what is like basically a 3D World style level, where you're just basically trying to get to the top of the level.
Short little thing.
Yeah.
Do some platforming.
There's also 5 little coins on each of them. Then there's Bowser kind of wakes up periodically. This big Giga version of Bowser that blasts flames, and there'll be blocks in each of those little islands that can only be broken by his fire breath, so you kind of have to know where they are get to there when he wakes up.
Right.
So every time you go back through to the island, it's got like a new little challenge for you to do. There's like a speed run thing where you've got to get a bunch of coins in a row.
And they've like reset where all the enemies are. Like when you go back, maybe it's like raised a little, and there's more of the level that you couldn't see the first time, or there's like different enemies in different places, or it's got some different platforms hanging around or whatever. Which is really like a fun way to make you go and explore a different level.
Yep.
Not just chew through the one level and then move on in like a linear way. It convinces you to do the open worldy aspect of it.
Yep.
There's enough little things hiding out in the ocean that aren't just like there's a moon in the corner. Like there's proper little challenges that you find, but you stumble upon them in a fun way.
Yeah. And it reuses so many of the same elements from 3D World in a really cool way. Like you basically not fast travel, but the way that you get around between the islands is on Plessy, this big, he's like a Loch Ness monster-y kind of thing who's in 3D World.
Plesiosaur,
Here's when Mario jumps on his back. I tell you what, lay off the lasagna, Mario. I mean, pasta, Mario.
I mean, Garfield.
Yeah. Cat Mario is Garfield.
Yes.
There's so many fucking cats in this thing. Everything is a cat.
I'm turned off by the cat stuff.
I don't like the cat bit. It's real weird. It seems real like...
Again, comparing it to 3D World, which is like, well, there's a cat power-up, but it's mostly a normal Mario game.
It seems like...
It doesn't need the cat stuff, the Bowser's Fury
It is
add-on.
weird. I guess it's just for them to sort of have some kind of thing to like tether it to the game that it's packaged in with, instead of it just being like, why isn't this its own thing?
Right.
Which brings me to my next point. Fuck, I hope this really feels like it's a proof of concept blueprint thing for whatever the next big Mario game is. I really hope this is them testing the waters in a pretty low stakes kind of way of like, it's an add-on, so it's not got the whole like
song and dance of a new Mario
game. The pressure to live up to, because I think it probably handles open world platformer the best you could, where it's unlocked as you progress. So like a platformer, you need these sort of condensed levels, but as an open world version, you want a big open world at some point.
It strikes a good little middle ground between like obvious what to do and where to go, and maybe you don't quite know where to go. Like there's some little cats again that you need to find around the world that like are hidden in pretty interesting places and that sort of thing. Like there's lots and lots of really, like every bit of it is clever.
Yeah. But this as like in a huge scope, like probably Breath of the Wild size is unrealistic. But this game in a huge map that's like a full-sized game would be fucking great. And again, for a little add-on, there is a decent amount of stuff in here. For something that is like a little addition, it's not going to take you ages and ages to finish, but I'm surprised by how much there is in it, even just after. I've seen the credits roll, and then there's like double the amount of shit to find.
There's 100 shines. I got all them shines, and it took me maybe 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah,
which
that's
ain't nothing.
good.
It ain't nothing
for like an $80 game.
Yeah,
and if you say, well, 3D World was $40, and this expansion, this 6-7 hour expansion thingy, is also $40. That's a good deal,
dude.
When they're both amazing,
you're honking it out there.
Yeah.
This gets the official Adam Knox Honk It Out award. You got to honk it out for Mario. Does it get the honk or not? That's what everyone's asking when I go to review a game. Does it get the honk?